There's a feeling that a lot of high performers have. It's a feeling that you can't quite name or necessarily explain. So you've got big dreams, things you want to achieve, to become, to have, you journal it, your mindset, hack it, and then nothing happens. The journal starts, but it stays closed. The ice bath becomes tomorrow or Monday. You watch every video on mindset hacks, optimization, high performance, and you're still watching them. You tell yourself that you just need obviously more data, more credentials, one more course, and then you'll be right that you can move. But what if I told you the gap is actually not your fault? It's not because you're not smart enough or driven enough or you don't want it enough. It's because deep down underneath the ambition and the resume and the version of you that everybody else sees, there's an identity running the show that you didn't put there. And that identity quietly, consistently believes one thing: I don't deserve this. See, most people will tell you to fix this with discipline or better habits, accountability, rewiring your beliefs. That's surface level stuff. What I'm going to show you in this video is where that identity came from, why your brain is protecting you from something that isn't a threat, and the one exercise that starts really collapsing it. Not by convincing yourself you're worthy, but by removing the origin that convinced you that you weren't worthy. So, you didn't arrive at I don't deserve this by accident. Somewhere early, probably before you had any language to question it, you learned that love, safety, belonging had to be earned. And the training, it didn't just shape your childhood, it built the identity and the output and the results of your entire life. And this is the part that pisses me off about most of the advice that's out there. They tell you to list your wins, practice gratitude, repeat affirmations until you believe them. But your nervous system doesn't run on beliefs, it runs on evidence. And if every data point since you were 6 years old says, love or success is conditional on performance, your brain isn't going to accept a new story just because you wrote it on a sticky note or in a journal. But let me tell you how this actually gets built, because this isn't some, vague childhood wound crap that you talk about in therapy and then just, feel better about it. This was installed in you. So when you're a kid, your brain has one job. Well, as an adult too, is to keep you safe. And for a child, safety isn't just physical, it's relational and emotional. And if people who feed you, house you, protect you, if their love feels conditional, your brain doesn't sit there and go, well, that's an interesting family dynamic. I'll unpack that when I'm 30. No, your brain goes, if love and success and everything is conditional, then I have to earn it every single day without fail, because if I stop performing, I stop being loved, and I stop being loved, I die. That's the equation. It's not rational, it's not logical, it's limbic. It's pre-verbal. It was installed before you even had the words to question it, and it's been running in the background of every decision you've ever made since then. And here's what deservability does to you. So there's two primary ways, and this way is the first way. The problem isn't that you can't achieve. You've achieved. You've achieved more than probably most people will in 3 lifetimes. The problem is that when the achievement arrives, nothing lands. You get the promotion, you feel relief for about 4 hours, then the anxiety comes back in, you close the deal, you celebrate for a night, and then you wake up and think about the next one. You hit the goal, the one you told yourself you would finally make, that would make you feel like you made it. And instead of satisfaction, you feel a quiet, hollow version of something. That's not motivation. well, it's not a motivation problem anyway. It's a receiving problem. And the receiving problem is always a deservability problem. The second one is the procrastination way. You will consume yourself with so much information and so much content that you will just get overwhelmed. The sneaky thing about deservability is it will have you doing things like more useless information, more courses, making you think you're actually making progress, but you're not. You're just pushing the can further down the road. Now, this can surface as procrastination or avoidance, but neither of these are the issue. Deservability is. So if someone is selling you a solution on procrastination and avoidance and never mentions that deservability, they don't know what they're really doing. Anyway, think about it like this. Imagine you've got a bucket with a hole in the bottom. You can pour as much water into that as you want. You can fill it all up. Achievements, money, status, relationships, accolades, information, courses, ice bars, breath work, meditation, flow states, whatever it is. And it will never, ever fill. Not because the water isn't good enough, not because you're not pouring fast enough, but because the bucket was designed to leak. Your deservability gap is that hole. And I will take a side thing here. So I just want to mention there's probably a third one while I think about it, actually. The reason why people hold on to this as well is because up to this point in time, this limitation has driven technically all of your success. The brain itself has associated that success, no matter how painful it has been or the cost it has taken, has been driven by this aspect. So it wants to hold on to it. That's why it hides in the corner of your psyche. So the thing that built your life up to now and all the success is the same thing that won't let you enjoy it, nor let it go. And here's where the nervous system comes in, because this is the part that most self-help gets completely wrong. Your brain has a feature called homeostasis. It wants things to stay the same. It interprets the same as safe. So if you grew up in an environment where love was conditional, where you had to earn your place, where you were only seen and approved of if you performed, your nervous system learned that that is normal. That's the baseline. That's home now. So now when you achieve something like really genuinely good, or have a big dream to achieve, or when you're in a relationship that's actually loving, when the money is in the bank or the business is working, your nervous system goes, hang on, this doesn't match the blueprint. Something's wrong. I don't really deserve this. And it starts looking for threats out there. It starts manufacturing problems. It starts whispering, don't get comfortable. This could fall apart. You don't actually deserve this. Someone's going to figure you out and see your wounds or behind the mask, or consume, more information, content, just to make an excuse that you need more stuff. That's not a thought problem or logic. It's a nervous system problem. You can't affirm your way out of your own survival thinking, nor ice bath it either. And this is what frustrates me about the industry, right? It's the advice you get from the gurus, from the coaches, from the well-meaning people who've never actually done the deep work. It's all surface level. List 5 things you're grateful for every morning. Look in the mirror and tell yourself that you're worthy. That just creates more friction. And you're lying about it. So all of that is treating the symptom. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a broken leg and wondering why you're still bloody limping around the house. So here's what actually happens when you try to outthink a nervous system that's been running the same program for literally decades. The nervous system wins every single time, because the nervous system isn't interested in your sticky notes or your affirmations or your journal. It's interested in one thing: are we safe? And it's safety to your body, has always looked like earning, striving, performing, proving. And then the moment you try to rest, to receive, just to be, your body sends the alarm off. And this is why high achievers are the most, let's say, susceptible to this, because you've been rewarded for the very identity that's keeping you stuck. Every promotion, every bonus, every external validation, it reinforces the training. The performing works, earning works, keep going, and you do. And the more you get, the gap quietly, has been feeling none of it counts, that you're still somehow not enough, no matter how much you win or get, until everything you hit at a point where things just stop working. The strategy stops returning the return on investment. You've optimized everything. You've done all the work. You've built the life, and the formula has quietly stopped delivering what it used to. That's not a burnout or a midlife crisis. That's a part of you reaching the end of its usefulness. So this is exactly the bridge you're looking for. It's not the part where you need fixing or you're necessarily broken. So what do you actually do about this? Because this is the part that most people skip or optimize or work around. They can tell you what's wrong. Oh, it's childhood trauma. It's my inner child. It's my shadow self. It's all the crap that's out there. But what do you actually do about this? So here's the exercise. And I want you to actually do this, not just watch the video and think that's interesting and then go back and scrolling, pause this or actually listen to it, right? And it works by doing one thing your brain has been avoiding, confronting the evidence directly. So hear how it works. And when I mention the word do, just bear with me on that, right? I want you to feel it. Really feel the words, not intellectually, but emotionally and physically. Every failure, every mistake, every time you let someone down, every moment you didn't show up, every achievement that was like luck or never rewarded, every time you felt like a fraud, just feel it. Let it all come out. No judgment, no fixing, no labeling, no diagnosis. Give yourself permission to feel it, that I don't deserve this, or I did this and no one gave me anything. This is the part most people skip because they want to jump straight to the positive stuff. But you can't collapse a belief you're not willing to look at. So get it out, all of it, the ugly stuff, the stuff you hope nobody finds out about you. And here's the part that makes this work. And this is what separates, this from every other exercise that you probably tried. You're going to question this through curiosity and awareness. So while you're going through that process of feeling this, ask these questions. Can I change what happened? If life is about experience, what is this giving me the opportunity to experience? What becomes possible if I explore this? And who does it allow me to become because of this? And just sit in it. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. The emotions and the feelings you're feeling are your greatest asset. They're not a negative. To many people, to try and fix this, I don't. This is your body doing exactly what it should do to allow you to move through this so you can use it, feel it. And most of the evidence, your brain has been collecting, the failures, the mistakes, the moments you didn't show up, most of it doesn't prove you're undeserving. It proves that you're a person who tried things, a person who got some things wrong, a person who was doing the best they can with the tools they had at the time. But here is your bridge. Here is your moment. So think about it. If your nervous system believes you don't deserve something, it doesn't just sit there passively. It sabotages. It procrastinates. It finds a reason not to start. It starts with the things and it doesn't finish them. It keeps you busy with things that look like progress but really aren't. And this is I suppose the genius of that part, it points at the evidence and says, see, look at all the times you didn't follow through. You're not the kind of person who finishes things. You achieve things, but no one rewards you. You don't deserve this. So the actual mechanism itself creates the evidence and then uses the evidence to reinforce the mechanism. So it's technically a closed loop. And the only way to break it is to see it for what it really is. So when you do this, and I don't mean the way of doing or here's a task list, right? You need to be this. When you actually sit down and separate, proof of undisturbing or undeserving from proof of being human, something does shift because you start to see that the case against you was never really a case. It was a fear, a training, a survival strategy that got installed well before you even had any say in the matter. And once you see that, once you really see it, the gap collapses without having to do anything. Not because you convince yourself you're worthy, but because you had the awareness and the curiosity to question it correctly. That's the exercise. Deservability, be it. Actually go and be and run through those questions. Not tomorrow, not Monday. Do it today. And just to round this up, your deservability was never yours. It was installed and then you used it to great effect, but then hid it away so you never actually found that it was the real thing driving you. It's not your enemy. It doesn't need to be removed or fixing. It needs awareness, compassion, and curiosity.